Welcome to this video on aerobic respiration. We will explore how your cells release the energy needed to power every process in your body, a core concept for your GCSE Biology revision. What exactly is aerobic respiration? Simply put, it is the process living cells use to release energy from glucose. It is essential for sustaining life, from moving muscles to building new molecules. The word aerobic refers to air. Aerobic respiration requires a constant supply of oxygen to fully break down glucose and release the maximum amount of energy. Remember, if an exam question asks what is required, always state oxygen. You should memorize this word equation for your exam. Glucose plus oxygen produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. It is a fundamental process for powering your body's life activities. For higher-tier students, the balanced chemical equation is key. It shows that 1 molecule of glucose reacts with 6 molecules of oxygen to produce 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and water, while releasing energy as ATP. Where does this happen? Aerobic respiration takes place inside your cells. While it begins in the cytoplasm, the majority of the process occurs in the mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouses of the cell. Mitochondria are specialized organelles with a highly folded inner membrane called cristae. This structure increases surface area for chemical reactions, making energy production more efficient, especially in high-demand cells like those in your muscles. Glucose is the fuel for this process, obtained from the digestion of carbohydrates. In aerobic respiration, glucose is completely broken down, releasing far more energy than anaerobic respiration, which is only a partial breakdown. At a glance, remember that glucose and oxygen are the reactants that go into the process, while carbon dioxide, water, and energy are the products that come out. Carbon dioxide is a waste product produced when carbon atoms from glucose are oxidized. It diffuses out of your cells and into the bloodstream, eventually reaching your lungs to be exhaled. Water is also produced during respiration. Some is used by the cell, while excess water is removed through exhaled air, urine, and sweat, which also helps regulate your body temperature. Aerobic respiration is highly efficient. 1 molecule of glucose can produce 36 to 38 ATP molecules, whereas anaerobic respiration produces only 2, highlighting why aerobic respiration is the body's preferred method. Energy is captured in small packets called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Think of ATP as the cell's universal energy currency, ready to be used exactly when and where the body needs it. This energy powers various biological processes, including muscle contraction, active transport, the synthesis of large molecules like proteins, and the maintenance of a stable body temperature. During exercise, your muscles demand more energy, causing your heart and breathing rates to increase. This ensures your working muscles receive the oxygen and glucose needed to drive the increased rate of respiration. Active transport is the movement of substances across a cell membrane against their concentration gradient, which requires direct energy input from ATP. It's essential for processes like absorbing glucose in the intestines. Living organisms constantly synthesize new biological molecules in a process called anabolism. This energy-intensive building of proteins, DNA, and glycogen relies on the steady supply of energy from respiration. In mammals and birds, the heat released during respiration isn't wasted. It helps maintain a stable core body temperature. This endothermic strategy ensures that our enzymes work at their optimum efficiency. Respiration is a continuous, around-the-clock process because cells cannot store large amounts of ATP. Even while you sleep, your cells must keep respiring to sustain vital life functions. Respiration isn't just for animals. Plants, fungi, and bacteria all perform aerobic respiration to release energy. It is a fundamental metabolic process for life across virtually all organisms. A common misconception is that plants only photosynthesize. In reality, plants always respire in all living cells, day and night, even if the rate of photosynthesis might be higher during daylight hours. Aerobic respiration is efficient because it completely oxidizes glucose, yielding up to 38 ATP. Anaerobic respiration, by contrast, only partially breaks down glucose, resulting in much lower energy production. This table summarizes the core differences. Aerobic respiration requires oxygen and results in complete glucose breakdown, while anaerobic respiration occurs without oxygen and yields far less ATP. Waste products like carbon dioxide and water must be removed to maintain cell function. Carbon dioxide is exhaled via the lungs, while excess water is processed through the kidneys and skin. Your circulatory system is responsible for delivering the necessary oxygen and glucose to every cell. Red blood cells transport oxygen using hemoglobin, while plasma carries the dissolved glucose. The lungs are critical for gas exchange. Oxygen diffuses into the blood through the alveoli, while carbon dioxide, the waste product of respiration, is exhaled out of the body. Every one of the 7 life processes relies on the energy released from aerobic respiration. Without this continuous energy conversion, life simply could not function. During exercise, the demand for ATP increases. Your heart rate and breathing rise to supply the muscles, with the extra oxygen and glucose needed to keep up the rate of respiration. Heavy breathing after intense exercise helps repay your oxygen debt. This extra oxygen is used to process the lactic acid built up during anaerobic respiration, converting it safely back into glucose. Finally, factors like temperature, glucose and oxygen availability, and your activity level all influence the rate of respiration. Enzymes drive these processes, meaning they are sensitive to environmental changes. Every step of aerobic respiration relies on specific enzymes, which act as biological catalysts. Because enzymes are proteins, they are highly sensitive to changes in temperature and pH, which can affect their efficiency. Growth and development place high energy demands on organisms. Whether it is a germinating seed or a developing embryo, cells require substantial amounts of ATP to power processes, like cell division and protein synthesis. In plants, respiration varies by part. Roots rely entirely on aerobic respiration using glucose from leaves, whereas leaves photosynthesize during the day and respire at all times. Seeds only show high respiration upon germination. We can measure respiration in the lab by tracking its byproducts. Common methods include detecting carbon dioxide with sensors or lime water, measuring oxygen consumption with a respirometer, or monitoring heat production with a thermometer. A classic GCSE experiment involves investigating temperature's effect on yeast. By controlling variables like glucose concentration, students can observe trends in carbon dioxide production, which indicates the rate of enzyme activity. In summary, aerobic respiration is a vital, continuous cycle. It bridges your body's systems, from the digestion of nutrients to the circulation of oxygen and the removal of waste, keeping everything functioning. To master this topic, remember your key terms: aerobic respiration, mitochondria, ATP, active transport, oxygen debt, and oxidation. Understanding these definitions is essential for success in your assessments. For your exams, keep these tips in mind. Always specify that oxygen is required, know both the word and symbol equations, remember that plants also respire, and be prepared to compare aerobic to anaerobic respiration. Avoid common pitfalls. Don't confuse breathing with respiration. Remember that energy is released rather than made, and never forget that water is a key product alongside carbon dioxide. In closing, remember the foundation. Glucose plus oxygen leads to carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Mastering this equation is the key to understanding how life sustains itself through aerobic respiration.